Oh, hello. I'm Dr. John Watson. Perhaps you've heard of me. But I have no doubt that you have all heard of the world's most annoyingly brilliant detective. And yet my best friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
The case is closed.
But there was one case that was almost too close to call, when Sherlock's immense capabilities were tested by a cunning woman's will and the maniacal passion of his greatest adversary. This is a case of a scandal in Bohemia, from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes.
Cleverly adapted by Wyatt and Malachi Chapman. And it all began when a mysterious visitor came knocking on the front doors of 221B Baker Street. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, Your Majesty. Please, take a seat.
Your Majesty? Sherlock, who is this man?
Ah, Watson, as my mother always said, there's no such thing as a stupid question. But that was a stupid question. Sir, it's obvious we're in the presence of royalty. Watch closely. He is 6 feet, 6 inches in height, with the chest and limbs of Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
Notice his watch is running an hour ahead of London time. This means that he came from a country in the adjacent east, in a hurry since he failed to reset his watch. A blue cloak is thrown over his muscular shoulders, lined with flame-colored silk. A style foreign to local craftsmen. Boots extend halfway up. His beautiful caps, lined at the top with genuine white fur from a chamois, a deer native only to the forests of Bohemia. From this I deduce that he is a man of dignity, stature, and refinement, from the kingdom of Bohemia.
That's fine, Sherlock. What is his name?
Ah, another stupid question. This whole time I was aware that I was addressing Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ulmenstein, Grand Duke of Castle Falstein, and hereditary king of Bohemia.
Sherlock, you do not disappoint, but I've come to seek your aid. Some 5 years ago, during a lengthy visit to Paris...
Oh, France! What happens in Paris stays in Paris, if you know what I mean.
Oh, but I wish that it did. For I fell in love with a beautiful adventuress, Irene Adler.
She's in crumpets! The woman!
You know her?
Recently, she has been the primary source of embarrassment for numerous elected officials. To put it simply, she blackmails for a living. Your Majesty, as I understand, became entangled with this beautiful Irene Adler. And wrote this heartfelt love letters. And now desires to get those embarrassing letters back.
Yes, but I need your assistance.
But how's she to prove the letters are not fake?
Well, there is a photograph. Hey there, cuddle muffins. If you were a pirate, would you rather have a parrot on this shoulder or this shoulder?
Oh dear, that is very bad. You have compromised yourself seriously.
I was only crown prince then. I was young and naive.
Innocent as the photograph may be, it is still proof of your connection to the beautiful vixen.
Exactly. You see, I'm about to be married to Clotilde Lothar von Saxe-Meiningen, second daughter of the King of Scandinavia.
Beautiful name.
Of course it is. If Irene were ever to release the photograph, my dignity would be destroyed, and the marriage brought to an end.
Time is of the essence, then.
She lives at Braunilage.
Farewell, Your Majesty. I have a photograph to find.
At this point, the whole business was confusing and overwhelming. Nevertheless, we had a case. Or, as Sherlock would say,
the game is afoot!
The next day at Baker Street.
Where are those Holmes? He said he'd be here a while ago. Excuse me, old sir. Holmes? For whatever reason are you in such a ridiculous disguise?
Allow me to elaborate. I left the house this morning in the character of an old man. I soon found Bryony Lodge. As to Irene Adler,
she has turned the heads of all the men with her beauty, or as the Americans would say, bow chickie wow wow. She drives at a 5 every day, sings at concerts, and returns at 7 for dinner.
Yummy! Has only one male visitor, but a good deal of him. His name?
Professor James Moriarty.
He is the Napoleon of crime, Watson. He is organizer of half that is evil and nearly all that is undetected in this great city. He is a genius, a philosopher, and an abstract thinker. He is a spider at the center of its web, and that web has 1,000 radiations, and he knows well every quiver of each of them. I am forced to confess that he is my intellectual equal. Plus, he has a pretty cool mustache.
But why would Moriarty and Irene be meeting with one another?
I was still balancing that same matter in my mind when Professor James Moriarty and Irene Adler sprang out of the house and into a nearby carriage.
And then I killed the man and threw his body into the river.
Oh, Moriarty is such a silly rich man. I could bet your mustache for days.
Oh, please. Step in, that's half the sovereign if you reach it in 20 minutes.
We're getting married.
Oh no, they're getting away. Marriage. Church. Ha!
then?
I was then the witness of the marriage between Irene Adler and Professor James Moriarty.
They're married?
Yes! But remember, our task is to recover the photograph.
Yes.
But I need your help.
Oh, I shall be delighted.
Irene returns from a drive at 7. We must be at Briney Lodge to meet her. Once she arrives, I will get her attention by using one of my ingenious disguises, creating a scuffle and making a spectacle of myself, to enemy being conveyed into her house. Soon afterwards, the sitting room window will open. You have to station yourself close to that open window.
Yes.
You have to watch me.
Yes.
And when I give you the signal, hey, you will throw into this room this ordinary flammable smoke rocket, which will produce smoke. And you at the same time will raise the cry of fire. Follow me?
You may entirely rely on me.
Be right back.
Hey, what about a watermelon?
Sherlock, why are you disguised as a salesman?
They're watermelons, the least threatening fruit I know.
Irene will never see it coming.
2 hours later at Briney Lodge.
The photograph must be in her own house.
But how will you find it?
That is the question, and that is where my plan comes in. Quick, I hear her carriage. Carry out my orders to the letter.
As Irene's carriage pulled up, an ambitious homeless man dashed forward to open the door for her in hope of gaining a penny. But Holmes, still disguised as a salesman, elbowed him away.
Excuse me, I'll get the door for her. Hey, what about watermelon?
Hold on. No one elbows me like that.
Oh, right in the watermelons.
Here comes Irene. Now to become a piteous spectacle.
Oh, the blood!
Oh no! Is he dead? No. There's life in him. Come with me into my sitting room.
I saw Holmes lying on the couch from the window. Fire!
Ah! Fire!
Sherlock and I then slipped away through the chaos.
You did it very nicely, Doctor. I know where the photograph is.
You do, and how did you find out?
You see, after the fight broke out, I had a little moist red paint in the palm of my hand. I rushed forward, fell down, clapped my hand to the side of my face, and became a piteous spectacle. It is a known trick.
Brilliant.
Then she kindly took me into her sitting room.
Well, then I threw the smoke rockets.
Yes, thinking her house was on fire,
This house is on fire!
she rushed to protect what she valued the most.
For goldfish.
No!
Puppies.
No!
Her mother.
No! The photograph?
No, of course.
As soon as she realized it was a false alarm, though, she replaced it, and I rushed from the room.
What now?
Our quest is practically finished. Shall return tomorrow to confiscate the photograph.
The next day at Irene's house.
All right, Watson, we're about to solve this case. You must go and alert the police now. I have some business to attend to with Irene.
Right, I'm on it.
Oh, God save the Queen!
The great Sherlock Holmes.
But you are not Irene.
Congratulations, Holmes. Your skills of observation astounded me.
But where's Irene?
She left late last night after your daring plan and in smoking and screaming, but she did leave me a little souvenir.
The photograph!
But that is beside the point. You are a problem I can solve by subtraction. But before I kill you, please impress me with your petty deductions involving my marriage.
You see, it's all rather obvious. Irene married you for your immense power and ill-begotten wealth. You married her to ensure her cooperation with your Bohemian scheme. In order to use the photograph, you had to first marry Irene.
Exactly. That plus she's super hot. Seriously, that is only part of the puzzle. Why would I want to create a scandal in Bohemia in the first place?
Why indeed?
In a word, Sherlock, expansion. That's well involved. You see, if I own the photograph, I can blackmail the king whenever I wish, which leaves him as another puppet in my box, who only speaks what I tell him to, and only says what I want him to.
He is but another thread in your criminal web.
Congratulations, Holmes, you're catching on. Now, with that final question answered, it is time to solve the final problem.
He's playing dirty now. 6 shot revolver. 5 shots left. 4 shots left. Discombobulate. Time to switch the photograph. 3 shots left. 2 shots left. 1 shot left. Time to make a move. There's no use in running, Moriarty. Watson is on his way right now with the police.
Well, Sherlock, you remember this day as the day you almost caught Professor James Moriarty, for you see, I still have the photograph.
But you see, I still have the gun, and I'm pretty sure I'm a better shot than you.
Maybe so, but you did leave this door wide open. That's not to mention, that's an odd place to put a piano.
Huh?
Good day, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that was too easy. Good day to you too, Moriarty.
Well, Moriarty did get away that day, but little did he know he got away with a useless photograph of Sherlock himself.
Stuffy!
That Sherlock strategically swapped out during the fight. At last, Sherlock and I have a chance to say those sweet words. The case
Is closed.